Well, we do have game 3 now officially underway, Jonathan. We'll head over there, and as we can see, more tips just flying out here between everybody. Again, very good to see the sportsmanship here between these two sides. And you know, if you were to choose two very happy teams, I'd like to say both these teams tend to be on the happier side, John.
That they do.
You know, like friendly. I mean, you know, you think of Buck, you think of a happy guy. You know,
that he is quite a good talker too. I'd say Navi is a more memey lineup. They're sillier, you know, in that sense as well. We'll see if the seriousness or the silliness takes over here.
They're the only pros that look at us and actually talk to us, Sean. Most of them just look and avoid us every time. I don't blame them. You know, Nick, he might have a bit of brain damage or something, Johnny. He keeps trying to talk to us. I don't know why. At least he tells you to shut up every time. That makes me happy. Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
So enjoyable. By the way, just as a fun fact, as they're running around here, maybe looking for first blood, I quickly checked Niku's Steam profile. He launches OBS True Steam. He has ours logged in OBS True Steam. I was like, what the heck? I didn't even know you could do that. Like, it's actually on Steam. That's crazy.
Okay, thank you for that, Jonathan.
I was gonna go on a rant. I was gonna go on a rant how all these Zoomers they need to have an app store. They can't install anything by themselves. But hey, you know, it's Steam. I guess it's fine. It gets a pass for installing Steam. It's still a little bit funky. Everyone else just installs OBS, you know. I don't know anyone that launches a true Steam. Still, irrelevant as we go into the mid lane, which is a bit more relevant for Niku. Doesn't have to launch OBS in this match, as he wouldn't be able to. Up against nothing to say on that. On that Sand King already has the sentry. The early presence here is going to be a bit annoying. Again, you did opt for Chain Gang here for Niku. So double impact's not going to be there for the trade backs. Nothing to say is going to have a fantastic time mid. And it's Niku's turn to get bullied out a little bit. Game 1 was maybe more even, considering Niku should have been ahead. Now, this should be a winning lane for nothing to say. Certainly is feeling that way with the initial waves. Up top has been a little bit rough on the get-go. And again, there's this potential to play really aggressive here for the side of Tidebound. Planned opting for the early low shredder, but that right-click damage still nothing to scoff at despite the nerfs.
Zayats is doing that thing again, Johnny. He's got the cramps, the pulls going, and unlike last time with the Bane, it seems like this time he is going to get punished rather heavily by Y every time he tries to do that. So chances are we won't see as many pulls as we saw last game around from this Magnus, but I'll see what Zayats does do. Again, I think it's going to be a much more painful experience against the Silencer.
It will be. I will say at the very least for Navi, you're not playing into like a Jug Snap, right? Like Cookie Spin kind of plays with a lot of magic damage, a lot of slows. The Silencer is still threatening somewhat, but it's not as easy for sure to just be full-on aggressive in that lane. That should hold back at least that look for punishment here on the side of Tidebound. Mid lane has still been evening out a little bit. Level 3 with level 2 chains from Niku, which I do like to see, maximizing that early chain gang facet, and will kind of pay off as 6 comes in. But the lane is just not manageable. And you're just constantly getting causticed up with that innate caustic finale now, for nothing to say. There's this threat of Stinger when you walk in. There's this consistent need to ferry out sentries if you want to actually play the lane and harass back, which Niku will not commit for further sentries, of course. So, again, nothing to say. Has himself a winning lane lined up, and we need to see how well he can translate that to some early tempo. What his itemization will look like in the Sand King. He's queuing up the power treads first. Nothing like travels. We'll want maybe just a little bit more presence and farm and a few more stats to play with, which is fair enough. Still a little bit quiet in this laning phase, but again, I feel like the biggest opportunity is likely on top. Once you've got the Cookie ready with a double stun, getting on top onto... If you could go onto Riddies, you'd probably be very happy. The issue is, and he hangs far back enough, but the Juice can be vulnerable if he's not too careful.
Could be. For now, it's going to be just fine. Well, mid lane has been heating up a little bit as well here between Nothing to Say and Niku. So we are going to see a miss skewer from Zayat. Has been a bit of a, I want to say, a rougher affair for Niku this laning stage. And of course, Nothing to Say has been applying a lot of pressure with that Sandstorm, which is very annoying for Niku to try and get within range and actually CS here against the Sand King. So it seems like Nothing to Say is getting off onto a better start here in this game number 3. Would like to see some rotations though later on, as we do see Got the Juice getting very low thanks to the scatter blast of Planet, but he will survive, and a quick rage out is going to ensure that he avoids most of that damage that was flying in. It's going to be very scary here for Got the Juice at the moment.
Yeah, it is, and that pressure is lining up from Tidebound. Again, with this change in the draft, with much more, I'd say, active lanes coming in here, they are getting a lot more from these lanes as well with this investment. Like, the bot lane's more even for Shiro and PMA in terms of farm, but the mid lane, again, is an outstanding win for them. The top lane's been really bad for Got the Juice.
I don't know about this. Got the Juice is going to try and move in now onto the Centaur. Buck's going to get the stun off. Planet actually ran out of mana, though. He went for the little shredder usage. He doesn't have enough for scatter blast, so they can't actually look to try and trade. Bit of a shame. Buck will end up going down, but Got the Juice will be very happy with that trade as bottom. They're going to try and move it down to Zayat. Will be silenced up on that mag, but they are going to lose Y instead on the silencer here for Tidebound. So nothing really going right in the side lanes for the side of Tidebound, as they will lose 2 for nothing.
Yeah, a little bit surprising for the top move. I think, again, you think about Snapfire Center, you'd expect a little bit more to come in. Got the Juice can dish that damage back, and Riddies with the Instigate can actually be a menace. Along with that, of course, the Stroke of Fate spam coming in. So they can kind of pick and choose when to engage on every single lane on NAVI as well. You are still getting the much better trade in terms of CS overall, but the net worth is a lot more even than you'd want to be. Even the mid lane, it's a little bit slower for Nico for sure, but he is gaining the EXP he'd want. And it's really just a matter of soaking into level 6. Right? Once you get that 6, he has level 3 Searing Chains as well. These fights that the Ember can kind of set up just by throwing Remnant forward chains into Remnanting in can be really devastating. You don't have easy catch for December. Maybe when you get that global silence up, it becomes a lot more manageable, but we're a long ways off from Y having that spell up.
That we are. Skewer attempt again. This time to just get away from Nothing to Say. 6-minute power rune's about to spawn up. They will bring in some support here for Nothing to Say to try and secure this 6-minute power rune timing. His top lane in the meantime, Bark is being chased again. He will make it out. Back to the mid lane where they are still trying to secure these 6-minute power runes. They'll gamble on the bottom rune, and it is going to be bottom. Invis picked up by Nothing to Say. Zayat's trying for a skewer back play, not going to find the opportunity.
No. At the least you get the levels up, and Niku can just go back for the reset and not have those chains. Look at that, long range setup.
Yeah, indeed, it was. A lot of damage being dealt here by Nothing to Say, but they should be able to find a successful trade. A very cheeky setup by Niku with the chain gang of the Remnant. You love to see that.
You do. Again, it's that chain gang. And that facet has just gotten so much recognition over the past few months. Just does so much work. And it's really just how insane it is in team fights. Like, if you get multiple remnants out in the middle of an engagement, it's just devastating. They're still looking to hunt. Nico with a rotation into the top now.
Who does he find, though? When they are going to run into Planet. Trying to fight over the Shrine of Wisdom. Niku's going to make it in time to contest. Planet is actually manning up here, but he shouldn't have enough damage unless the rotations do come in, and Niku will now be contested. Can they get the burrow? Oh, they can! They were so patient with it. Just ensuring Niku didn't see them so he couldn't remnant away. You love that from Nothing to Say.
Yeah, Niku pushing the envelope quite hard. Doesn't quite find what he'd want, and bleeding out some much needed EXP out to Nothing to Say. Also still has his triangle. Keep farming up here. Not the biggest of stacks, but still enough for a quick injection building into that blink now on our Sand King. So they're evening it out. The game is on pretty equal standing right now overall. You are seeing a little bit more of a start here for Shiro in comparison to Got the Juice, of course, on that life sealer, and off the back of that for Niku mid. Nothing to Say has just started to pull ahead. Not by huge margins yet, but this is early days in the game. Still, Arcane Rune is bottled up at the very least, so Niku has quite a fair bit more play. It's just a matter of looking for where to go. They walk right under wards, aside of Tidebound, not going to get caught off guard anytime soon. And again, this is the one strength of Tidebound. They know how to pick and choose their fights. They've been very smart with just avoiding NAVI when they're looking to engage. And it's just a lot of wasted time now from Niku. You do have Gore Storm up, though. So there is an Ancient Granite Golem on the hunt here. Not leading too much, though.
Not yet. That's alright, though. Johnny's kind of staunch in the place right now. This Granite Golem. Tier 1 bottom tower will eventually go down, of course. Now, Tidebound, I want to say they're having a better start to this game than they did in game 2. Like, you don't have those awkward deaths on Shiro. It doesn't really seem like they've struggled in these lanes at all. It has been a pretty even affair. So you do have PMA at the top of the net worth board, but followed right after him is the Sand King, and of course our junglers. They are going to try and chase down at least Why? He's got a jug around him, but it doesn't seem like the help will be coming apart from that Stampede, but that's not going to help enough. It does buy a bit of space to try and force the fight if you want it, but they do not.
No. I think, again, Tidebound has a good read as to what they have to do. Navi is in a position where they can play aggressive. They can be playing a lot harder. They need to wait for this farm here on Tidebound. At least the blink on Nothing to Say, which is only about 300 gold off. Maybe once you have that up, you can start to feel a little bit more confident in engaging in. Got some good control coming in. Hello? Bach?
Bach again. Bach, I mean, he's a tanky boy, but he's going to try for a TP play out. They've got the chains, though. Niku again going to lock him down. Bach, second death of the game now on the Centaur. Not having a very good time.
No. Certainly not. And I feel like that's been the story for the series. Except for maybe game 1. Bach has had a little bit of a slower start in game 2 and even here in game 3. He is willing to, he is that kind of player that is willing to be the sacrificial lamb offered up to the slaughter to buy time and space for the rest of his cores. But it does come at a bit of cost. He still is getting a decent ramp up into his Crimson Guard, but he's also hanging back again his bottom network core once more. So a little bit touch and go for Bach overall, but as long as the rest of his team profits off of his space, and you're happy enough to get that done. Blink up now for Nothing to Say. They are setting up. They've got the smoke on hand. No global silence yet on Y, sadly. And that smoke was under a ward. So this is likely not going to lead to much. But again, this Blink and Nothing to Say, it's got to get going fast. Oh,
this is mid lane. They do miss a stun. Bit awkward. As Reedy's actually going to walk his way out just fine. And well, Nothing to Say, a bit of a rare error for him is he's going to try and go for the epicenter, and he does get it off in time. Just trying to escape, though, as everything's just gone wrong. And he will be able to do so. But now Zayats is on the chase. Doesn't really have any kind of way to close the gap, but he's chasing. And they are going to find eventually a target in Planet. So even commit the RP just in case. And Planet will indeed go down to Got the Juice.
Yeah. Happy enough to just get that spell in cooldown. Get some activity out for Got the Juice as well. Helping to accelerate this timing into the Radiance. And man, for Tidebound, you couldn't ask for a more awkward timing. They had the good read. They got the kisses off. Just doesn't connect the way you'd want. Nothing connects the way you'd want. And you can see the ideas coming in from Tidebound, but they still don't have the level on Y. Still doesn't have that global silence to try to break up, get the re-engage going your way. They still have access to this farm that Nothing to Say is finding going into that Ags we tend to see on the Sand King. It just feels like you've maximized quite nicely on Navi. Bach is starting to pull ahead. Again, when it comes down to farm efficiency, Tidebound has been consistently good early game. You have an opportunity on Navi to play. No RP, but with Chain Gang, maybe a remnant with chains is all you need here.
Perhaps. They're going to smoke up. They'll move down towards the south. We've already got that Battle Fury up on Shiro, so his farm set to start to snowball out of control on Shiro's mid lane. They will make the jump in. Planet's been caught out. Not the biggest kill in the world, but they'll take what they get for now. Niku will happily take his life away. I gotta say though, again, Shiro, it's one of those games where he's just kind of being ignored on the jug. He got a very nice timing in that Battle Fury. And it could be a cause for concern. Letting this guy just free farm is never really a good idea.
No, it certainly isn't. I will say, I mean, you have some ways of dealing with it, right? Like this eventual blink that comes in from Zayat's. Blink RP on him. You've got enough damage to focus him down before he can Omni. You know, spin TP doesn't work in that sense. With that up, there is a big smoke from Tidebound, though, and this time they've got the global silence. Could be enough to pin someone like Niku down.
Global silence committed. They are going to make the jump in onto Niku, and they've got him. A very important kill here for Tidebound. Of course, that opens up the tier 1 mid tower to pretty easily be taken out, I do think. No defense really setting up here from the side of NAVI. They are TPing heroes up top, maybe thinking about going after Bark once again. And Bark, well, he's going to get caught. He's got his Crimson Guard up to make life a little bit more challenging for them. In fact, the Burrow and Epicenter. Nothing to say is here. He's got the help this time around as the Stampede. Gonna try and allow them to escape right out of here, but PMA, he's still going. The Omni committed though, gonna ensure he gets taken down. Has got that Joes. Not got the Joes. He's also down. Nick is gonna try and clean up here, but he hasn't got the spells. He hasn't got the damage. Oh, they found another Zayats to drop. And Bark with the bait. Nothing to say with the initiation. Just everything going perfectly for the side of Tidebound.
I don't think they respected that Crimson Guard pickup in Bach enough on the side of Na'Vi. Like, you kind of tickle at this point on Lifesteal. You don't even have the Radiance for some plus damage at the very least to try to dig through this barrier and this damage block. So you really don't have that burst play. You don't have the magical damage either for this kind of lineup to just get that instant burst. And look at that focus. It's 3 heroes right on top. Just not enough. And then the fall to cleanup is there. You did manage to get a good soul bind before dying off there for Riddies. Kind of holding back that Stampede, but just not enough. Even the slashes coming in. More than enough leftover slashes to just clean up. Got the juice afterwards. They needed some patience there. And this is what we've seen from Na'Vi a couple times. They get hasty, they don't respect these timings. And the punishment tends to be severe from a team like Tidebound here.
I love the fact that Shiro joined in as well for that team fight. Just understanding he didn't really have too much work to do. They certainly cleaned up as they are going to commit an RP top lane. Trying to just secure a quick one onto Planet. Zayats with the no hesitation RPs on this support Magnus, which is fair enough. It doesn't really change the game at all though, does it? Like you're finding these snap by kills, but they don't really mean anything. You know? He's more than happy to die assuming Shiro and nothing to say. They're just free farming the whole time.
Yeah, I think your prime target has got to be really Shiro. Shiro's been left on an island by himself, farming to his heart's content. 2-0-1. He's almost got the Manta style up, so he's got a way to escape from the chains. You're going to have to hard commit, let's say, the RP here from Zayats, who is inching towards the blink for that jump in. 800 gold away now on our support Mag. But you need that timing to be in. Radiance up and running now for Got the Juice. So a little bit more damage, a lot more presence out and mischance flying in. But probably not enough to really fully up-end Tidebound and their timing at this point, right? Because it's just starting to pan out. The auras from Bach are starting to get built up. Pipe coming out next. Still, PMA.
Bottom. They'll go again. They'll find PMA. And PMA, the highest net worth hero on the map for Na'Vi, but he's made really short work of here by nothing to say and why. Nothing he could do to get his way out of that one. That's another pretty bad sign for Na'Vi. Like, that's your highest net worth hero just getting deleted down at bottom lane on his own.
It's not feeling like a good game right now for Na'Vi. And again, it's down to Tidebound having these options for aggression, having the safety net of global silence to prevent any sort of backup. They've always got disengage, re-engage, Stampede. Nothing to say actually has a game in comparison to his game 2 now. On the Sand King, Ags is up. His damage is insane if he gets that epicenter off in the middle of these engagements, and that spell is going to do a ton of work. You don't have that same barrier build up here from PMA. He is going for a classical. Oh.
Got the juice. He barely avoids that cookie. He got the rage off just in the nick of time as the creep was about to land on him, so he will make it out. Geez, scary times. Every time Nothing to Say just sees this lifesteal, he wants to make the jump. Almost finds it.
Again, it's just down to how many options you have for the engagements here. Just a bit of a poke and prod, and I can say as well, but you are lacking that ability to just stand and fight into this control that Tidebound has, and they're trying to compensate, trying to go for these BKBs now on Niku. Only one that really needs it, but yeah, the global silence is still going to cause some issues here. For the rest, even with some debuff immunity on hand. For NAVI, they can't afford to counter-initiate. They have to be the ones jumping in. That's where they've been the strongest. Niku's been trying very hard to get that done. Tidebound's just been very smart in avoiding any of these free kills. Again, they've mainly just found the supports. Both Y and Plan account for, what, 6 of the 9 kills that NAVI has found? And they've only really found, what, 3 core kills on NAVI in this game. Not the number you're looking for. Again, Shiro's still on an island. This Jug has the full manta, 1 port into the Ags. Is starting to beeline it into that point where if you don't RP the Jug, you have a lot of issues. He's going to Omni, he's going to Swift Slash. He's absolutely going to murder you. This mischance coming in from Got the Juice is nice, but it's likely not enough. And with a 5k lead for Tidebound, again, yes, they're still playing, you know, moderate Dota. They're not going full aggression every single time. They're not always on the hunt, but they're playing with confidence across the map. They've got wards to protect their position on the map as well. Navi's vision is a little bit darker at the moment, really just watching on the mid-river top. Trying to go for a little bit of a siege down bot as well, but they haven't been able to initiate as much as you'd want. 100 gold away for Zayats in the blink. You'd want to wait a bit.
You know, a very awkward fight here for Navi to try and force. Like, you've got nothing to say ready with the epicenter. They will take the tier 1 mid tower, though, we've got the juice, and that'll be enough for them to retreat. Meanwhile, Tormentor going to be taken by Bark and Shiro. It'll be a free shards out for Y now. They are going to go for the immediate smoke rotation, trying to head down towards the bottom side of the map to see if they can find the side of Navi here in this radiant triangle. Excuse me, rather just jungle. PMA is going to be narrowly avoided, but Niku gets caught out. Yule Scepter is there. Niku still alive for now, but the hoof stomp is going to connect. And just in time for Y to secure a few more int for that kill. You'll love to see it.
I'd be happy with that free shard. One of the highest value shards, you know. Yeah, it's so annoying to not have the man to cast. And on a hero like Ember, who wants to keep casting the slides, who wants to keep casting these remnants, every single point event lost is just, it's painful for Niku. Like that's less impact he'll have in team fights. It's less presence he'll have, even onto the Shrines of Wisdom.
Right, let's found PMA. PMA's going to have the Rolling Thunder, but the Omni Slash was committed and he does not get away. Shiro really proving to be a bit of a problem at this stage, and he's one part away from the Ags up now. That Swift Slash going to be a pretty big headache to deal with this game. Oh. And right now, Navi, they just don't have answers. Mid lane, Zayats is getting annihilated with this Ags up on nothing to say. Just so much damage with these Stingers. They'll try to chase down the Sand King, but he's just so tanky.
He is. There's way too much HP, no damage. Again, going for Chain Gang, you tend to be utility until you start to get some items up, and your presence starts to get improved. You can start to stand in the middle of these engagements. A long ways off from that yet for Niku. You are getting some progression out on Got the Juice, but the core-to-core matchup is, it's not very comfy here for the Lifestealer into the Jug. Like, you have to get that window right. You have to ensure that you get the jump on the Jug first. Or if he Omnis, you have to ensure you have an easy infest target that can eat all of that damage for you, and no one on Navi is tanky enough to eat through all of that damage. Again, PMA is going for utility damage himself instead of tankiness. Same thing goes for Niku. No one can hold back here.
Absolutely not. I mean, it's certainly pretty tough times right now for Navi. They're going to group up here, Navi, though. They've gone for a big smoke. I was wondering if Got the Juice was going to join them, but I suppose even with the Radiance up, maybe he just feels that there's not much he can offer his team at the moment. There's just going to be a smoke rotation as 3. There is a counter smoke from Tidebound, though, up towards the north. And they may just meet Niku on the mid lane if he's not too careful. It's nothing to say. Will reveal himself in that mid lane smoked up. Niku's still hanging around the mid lane. They're going to see him. Niku, they land a stun. He gets the yours. But the global silence, of course, is there. And that's a little bit of a concerning sign for Niku. Getting caught another time, and these are somewhat projected stuns. You know, they're not instant. It's a bit problematic.
Oh.
Rolling Thunder. PMA, he's going to try and move in. At least see if they can pick off Y. Cookie is going to help out just a little bit as Y actually still alive with all these shields being applied. Zayat's the one in trouble. Does pop the RP before he goes down. Meanwhile, Anomali being thrown out, but bounces the creep wave. It bounced right to the creep wave. A nice kind of route from Got the Juice, but he has to leave the rest of this team to just die. It's just Got the Juice left. And he might not be out of danger yet either. He'll run. He'll show himself in the creep wave once again. Buck is on the chase, but he's got the rage TP. He'll be all right.
Very fortunate that they managed to get that jump into the creep wave to avoid majority of that Omni Slash from Shiro. They still lose everything that matters, though. I mean, Tidebound widening this lead up, 15 to 10, 11k up, having much more activity in this game as well, getting access to Roshan for free off the back of that engagement. Trying to poke on Niku, but he just doesn't have enough presence by himself. Really needs that BKB and has been stalled out from it with these deaths. Still just about 200 gold away. Now secondary life for Shiro, full Swift Slash available. Going into the butterfly next on Jug. You're not going to be able to land a hit on this hero, and it's just going from bad to worse right now for the side of NAVI. I think one thing they can try to bank on is, again, this Blink RP for Zayats is still impactful no matter what stage of the game you are in. And if you can somehow find some high value pickoffs and get the Ags, that could be big on your Grimstroke as they do miss the mark. PMA gets to slide away.
Certainly does. It's still NAVI 12k behind now. Still looking for an answer for this game number 3. You just have to wonder at what point Got the Juice can actually do anything on this lifesteal. Like, it's just felt very, very unimpactful thus far. And I mean, in fairness, he's got plenty of room to grow, but it just felt like every fight is just rushing in to find a support. You saw how long it took to kill Y off that last time. So it's not going to get much easier, I don't think, as well, Zayats, he'll be okay in the mid lane. Nothing to stop that TP. But you're starting to lack the answers here, especially for this lifestealer. Like, last time around, he ran towards a creep wave. What happens if you don't have a creep wave jump?
You just die. That's it. No two ways about it. You're just dead. And this might be that circumstance here for little Got the Juice. He's not too careful. Bach just trying to bait out a bit.
Oh, Rage is there. Global Silence will be committed. Immediate TP's away, though, and they are going to be all right. They are perfectly fine. But always on the edges, NAVI.
And that's the way they have to play, right? They have to edge it out. Have to try to find that knife's edge advantage that they can. Like, now they force out 2 ults. This could be an opportunity for them to play without having to worry too much about BKBs that they have to pop. And this is the time where you'd want Navi to actually group up with the smoke, but they're kind of scattered around the map. They're not willing to jump in. There is still that ever-present threat of Shiro, who is only about 700 gold away from the full butterfly. Like, this is the point where the Jug is just insane, right? Like, especially with the Blade Form facet, getting that bonus base agi up. It's just so much output for the Jug if he's able to do it. If he's able to get that done. There's really not much you can do here. At least the courier snipe coming out from Zayats, but
now looks like they have found themselves a planet kill. Meanwhile, Zayats is going to die. Planet is actually still running in the meantime, but he will finally go down. Any kill's a good kill right now for NAVI, so I don't mind that trade as Got the Juice. I'm not sure about this. He's confident though. With the rage out, he will get out of there. And NAVI showing some signs of life as, well, at least Got the Juice. He feels pretty much invincible as this life still by the way he's been behaving. The mid lane, they have found themselves PMA instead. PMA going to try and get into that Rolling Thunder. Does make it out. Shiro trying to get within range for an Omni or Swish Slash, but just not able to get there. So PMA barely able to survive.
And again, they're poking and prodding nicely on Na'Vi. Like you said, you take what you can get with that kill on planet, but you need more, right? We've got the double BKBs up on our Ember and on our Life Sealer. Going for the Nullifier now in PMA, it's just... this just boils down to execution for Na'Vi. Like, they've got to be able to get the jump in. There's so much pressure on Zayats and on Niku, actually, to find these targets for them. Just haven't felt like they've been able to find the better end of position here when they're going into Tidebound. Like, even this isolated play from Shiro, he's not going to die, even if he was caught off guard right now. There's just no way. You don't have the damage. You don't have a way yet to pierce through that evasion on Butterfly. He has the safety net of Swift and Omni Slash as well. I'm not sure what you're supposed to look for here.
Oh, TP away. Ooh. Nico and Shiro. I mean, the thing is, he can't cancel the TP yet anyway. There's no Basher yet on Shiro, but he has queued one up. Probably going to be very effective once he does have it available. It's like Tidebound, not really to be outdone. They continue to rush through the mid lane, but the Aegis is expiring in 15. So, not really seeing a big opportunity to maybe force high ground here for Tidebound, but hoping perhaps for a kill attempt here in this mid lane. Niku's just going to clear the wave with the chain gang and the remnants. Shiro looks like he might just commit for a little bit. I mean, they are very strong right now. We've seen this before with Shiro's SF as well. As long as his team just stands behind him, he's going to feel pretty darn safe in this scenario.
And he is. And I don't know, if you don't bring Zayats in for that skewer back threat, then there's no defense here. There's nothing whatsoever. Maybe you throw out a couple of remnants, get some chains off, that's it. That's all you really have to do.
Oh, nothing to say. Trying to catch the mag, won't be able to do so. They did creep skip as well, so they didn't have enough time to get through that range barracks they were aiming for.
Jeez, those illusions hurt.
Nice little...
Jeez, those illusions hurt. Niku. Down to just a quarter. Jeez.
Concerning signs for Niku. And now, I mean, it's back into the mid lane. Like, they just don't feel like there's a fight to be taken here by NAVI. And in fairness, there isn't. You know, so just keep going through mid.
Look, I get what Navi's trying to do. They want Zayats to have that Lotus. They want to try to counteract that Omni, but I don't know if you're going to find it quick enough. At the very least, they're not going all in on mid. For Tidebound, they show some respect. They're going to stand back. They're going to play it safe. They know they've got control in this game so far. The space has led to a little bit of a ramp up. Got the juice. Does have the Demon Edge hanging around here. Does have his full item flying in. Should be the MKB, and it is. So he has a way of actually hitting the Jug if they do get into an engagement. The issue is, if the Jug has Omni, you're just dead. Anyhow, so whether or not Got the Juice can actually hold his ground, find that opportunity to pick off on Shiro, I'm not sure. You're going to have to play your cards very, very well here on the side of NAVI. But if they can, this Life Stealer can start putting the work. Still a freebie Tormentor solo by Shiro with a Swift Slash. Free shard for Bach. Quite nice with a double edge considering how far forward he's been playing. A little bit more strength to come in. Always good to see. And for Na'Vi, I mean, look, they've managed to sit through Aegis, although Niku again being pretty annoying. At least breaks that smoke, so no scary movements out, but still playing on the edge with position here.
Bottom, who are they going to find? Looks like Got the Juice is going to rage TP out, and Zayats is not. Zayats cannot, rather. The good news for Shiro is he's going to have the Basher pretty much available any time now, so he won't have to watch that that pesky rage TP away anymore. Bad news is there is already a Basher on Got the Juice now. So Got the Juice, he's got a somewhat of a way of controlling this Jug as well.
Somewhat. I will say, you know, Zayats could rage TP out as well, Mikey. You don't know his emotions. While watching there, he could be raging.
You're an idiot, Joe.
You know,
you're an idiot.
I try my best, Mikey. Let's see. 17 to 11.
How low can one man go?
I can go
You're
even
next
lower,
one.
Mikey. Heck yeah, it
I
should be
know,
John
Joe.
Lowfire.
No. Just stop, John. Enough. Enough. Have some shame. Have a bit of shame.
Shame, Mikey.
Mid
No
lane.
shame. Oh.
Oh, but he's going to see a live stealer. Gets into the workhorse, tries to run his way out. They have locked him down, though. It's going to be a big kill if they can get a buck. Is going to go down. Here comes Shiro. He still has the Omni to play with. Did commit the Swift Splash earlier on. Global Silence committed. NAVI, they might just get away with murder. It's Tidebound not seeing the opportunity to try and turn this one. They will let them walk out. And that's a big deal because Roshan, it is available. So pretty big win here for NAVI if they can get away with this Roshan attempt.
Should be able to as well. It's a tight spot. They've got the RP still ready to play with on Zayats, and he does have that full Lotus. So they can just try to get that timing, try to prevent the Omni from being a massive issue. In fact, they're being sneaky, smoking out, letting Dr. G solo to Roche. Looking for a follow-up fight. The scan did spot them. The Tidebound, still a little bit slow in the uptake. But with this smoke, this reposition for NAVI, they could easily take this fight if they want.
The thing is, they're playing without a Centaur here for Tidebound, so it could be a very scary initiation they're looking for. If they do find Zayats, but they miss the Burrow Strike. And that's going to be Roshan going down, and a consolation prize in the form of nothing to say, though. Niku goes down. Well, how did Niku die?
He was cutting them all off. That's the reason why they got the isolation. He came in, he broke the smoke of the back line, he was trying to play tag with Y. And he does sacrifice, but you get the bigger kill. That's a huge sweep and nothing to say. That's a lot of gold bleeding out to Got the Juice. And this lifestealer is starting to get a little bit scary. Secondary life up, has that BKB, still at the 8-second charge as well. Full Abyssal, not too far off, into a Daedalus next. Not sure what you're going to have to toss out for that one, though, on the Daedalus, but we'll wait and see. Maybe just swap around a BKB as needed. And for Tidebound, they're still in control. Right, they're 8k up. This jug is massive, but they've not been able to find these opportunities. NAVI has managed to find a way to reel this game back to a playable state for themselves. And you know what? If you fall flat, if you falter here in Tidebound, let's say you're forced to defensively pop the Global Silence plus refresh, you know, Bach gets caught out in an awkward spot again, forced to use Stampede for a self-retreat, or the workhorse to not save a person, then that's opportunities you're handing back to the side of NAVI. And they've shown us time and time and again that this is a team that you can't fully count out once they've got some tools to play with here.
No, absolutely not. NAVI proving to be back in this one as they're going to try and jump. Got the juice, but again, he just proved... Oh, I don't want to say invincible. Maybe I shouldn't say invincible, but he does get pretty damn low. In they go. There's your Aegis down. That's one life gone. He's a bit of a sitting duck right now. Got the juice. They'll jump in again with the Omni. It's no problem. It is no problem this time around. Did I say comeback was happening, John?
Nice move, Mikey. Good curse.
You're welcome.
No, good job on both of us. The high fives all around for cursing NAVI.
I was literally about to say this lifesteal is invincible, and it's well, I've got halfway there, John.
He looks more invisible to me, Mikey. I don't see him.
Oh,
I think you know.
Mid lane. Yeah, that's the second time he's died to that Abyssal Blade. But he's doing what he needs to do. It's not really that simple. Because they're going to lose a lot, John. There's no buybacks. He's got to try.
That they do. Next creep wave is not too far off, at the very least, if backdoor kicks in. So you've got a big window here for Shiro. At the least, you still have the Blink RP ready on Zayats. So, you know, things can still happen, but 40 seconds without that Ember is a rough pill to swallow, for sure.
Oh, it's going to be an easy 2-lane of racks being taken. There is still a top tier 2 tower, though, up at the top lane, so they will have to go ahead and address that. I don't think it's going to be too much of an issue for them, though, in fairness. And the worst part is as well, like the next team fight you're in for NAVI, chances are there's going to be a full Swift Blink available on Shiro. He's already brought out the other components, so just needs the Eagle Song to get that completed. And that's going to be really scary because he's more than happy to just jump in and just burst a couple heroes down instantly. That's not going to be very fun for NAVI.
No. Not a very good time whatsoever. And again, like, There have been opportunities for it. It's just a matter of how do you execute? How do you execute that consistently? Can you find the RP? Can you find that isolation play you really desperately need? You've got the full ads on Niku, so maybe you can even start to rely on some very far-thrown spirits with the chains. Could be one way to go. That does make lane management a bit easier at the very least for these super creeps. Very non-committal from Niku. Just needs to throw a spirit, throw the chains. He's happy. He's clearing out some waves every now and again. And he prevents that shove onto the high ground. Tidebound for their part. Still 3.5 minutes until we see that minimum Roche timer. We start to see the clock on him and his respawn. But, I mean, do you have anything to be concerned about when you're like 17k up at 39 minutes in? You're going for the refresh and nothing to say at this point. A side of Vice on Bach to just help hold down some more. Again, you've had this refresh for a while on Y. Even the Ags coming up for Planet soon. Just 2 parts off. Has the Gobble up save with his Blink already up. A lot of tools and utility here for Tidebound to just dictate these engagements every single time. And NAVI, their options are just so limited. Right? Like, again, one saving grace is maybe this Riddy's Ags on the Grimstroke. With how farmed you are on Shiro, that Dark Portrait is going to do some damage. And the question is, will you even find the gold for it in time?
Got the juice. Be careful, he got the juice. Look at the vision they've got here. The creep wave! What awkward timing! The creep wave gets involved, but Niku's still been caught out. Niku's in big trouble. Niku, he'll get the BKB and Remnant out just in the nick of time. He's made it. On 80 HP, he's made it. And that darn creep wave. How unfortunate for Shiro.
Just unlucky timing. I mean, they still find a freebie for themselves, right? Like, tier 2 is just gone. They didn't have to pop a refresh here on Y, so they could just sit out the Global Silence cooldown, go for double Global Silence again. And for Navi, I mean, yes, they're not dying. It's not the end of the game yet, but they're not able to really capitalize just yet either. All they can do is hang back, try to get this farm going, try to find some opening somehow. It feels like it has to boil down into Roche if it's a quick spawn. I guess Roshan can just easily end the game already for the side of Tidebound. It could be your ticket back in if you're a NAVI. You don't have vision control in the area though, unfortunately, again, with the map state the way it is. Tidebound just has the wards, has the control on the map. They're going to be able to watch if you're going to try to sneak into Roshan. They're going to be able to just secure themselves for that Roche as well. And they have the right idea. They're hanging right across the river, right by that pit, waiting, trying to see if it's going to be a quick timer relatively soon, or if Navi tries to smoke play outside of the base here.
Let's smoke up here, Tidebound. They're looking to move in through that mid lane. Got the juice. Oh, he's about to reveal himself too. This is very awkward timing for Got the Juice. They'll try to use him as bait. Got the juice, still trying to move away. Hoofstomp's not going to land though. Did he not see it? I don't think he did. Oh, and the Hex is out as well. Got the juice and PMA both going down. Oh, nobody saw the Hoofstomp. He was within fog.
No.
Oh, it's so unfortunate.
That is just rough. They do at least have the buyback on Got the Juice, but without that Penguin roll, I mean, you're asking for a lot now from Niku and Zayats to get that RP and the chains off just right here.
Oh, Skewer's not going to land. A nice spin away from Shiro. They're still going to try and abuse this Dark Portrait. Rush it in, see if they can find themselves a target with it. It does some decent damage, but you don't really have the lockdown. That'll be enough, it seems. They're not going to stick around for this top lane of Barracks. They're more than happy with the buyback committal from Got the Juice. And of course, you don't have Omni available. You don't have Stampede. You don't have Silence. They may as well just wait for that all those spells to be back up before they do go. And you also have the opportunity of Roshan coming up rather soon. So you may as well wait for that as well.
Yeah, and again, they've got the vision set up here on the side of Tidebound. Roche easily ends this game at this point. Navi are the ones that kind of have to counter Lucky Stars, right? Like, that's enough to dissuade them. They can wait for PMA to respawn. They can actually think about that Roche fight a little bit, because it's a position where they can get a lot of control. And Zayats, we've seen the isolation plays in Roche, quite nice, isolating nothing to say. And Niku cutting the rest of the team off with his chains. There are opportunities that can present itself around the pit. It's just a matter of finding them for Navi and for Tidebound. And even if there are those opportunities, they're hard to find for Navi. They are still in control for Tidebound. See Navi, though. Try for a smoke. This could break the game, though. If they get caught off guard with a smoke and they don't manage to find that kill, could easily just spell the end of their high ground.
Certainly could. This could be the last fight for NAVI. Not really finding an opportunity. They're going to head up north. Nobody around from Tidebound, though. Tidebound are just casually waiting for the next Roshan attempt. So unfortunately for NAVI, they're not going to find anything for their trouble. It's getting the idea now that the Roshan is what Tidebound's looking for. There's your Roshan now available. They've got it up. They'll scout it out as well here with Planet. The question is, can NAVI actually contest this Roshan attempt? Like, if Zayat's going to land a massive RP with this Infest play, it could be the game-changing move you need. But I don't think it's going to be anywhere near enough to land on one. They could try to blow up Shiro, but it won't really be that simple. They'll wrap around through the Radiant jungle. Y will be spotted eventually, and they might just try to burst him down first, and they will. The jump is there, and they've got him. The Croaker even getting involved. Now as the Swift Flash comes in, they want this lifestealer dead. He's going to try and heal up through it. Stunned up is the Juggernaut. Leashed up even, but the Swift Flash will run. The Omni Slash going to fly right through. Zayats and Niku gone. Triple kill for Shiro. They just don't have the damage, and GG's called. It's just not enough in the end. Tidebound. I mean, sure, you kind of force their backs against the wall there in this game 3, but Tidebound still proving to just be the